Well, hello, amazing ladies. I hope you guys are having an incredible day. Today, I want to talk to you about your happiness and how your happiness as a mom has to be part of the equation. You see, at least for me, when I became a new mom, the exhaustion and the never-ending list of things that have to be done, it hits you like a ton of bricks. And it's so easy to mark yourself as the last priority, simply because that is the one thing that you truly have control over. And you see, what happens is when we enter into this world of motherhood, there's so much that we don't expect to happen. There's so much that we don't anticipate to happen, that we feel like in order to just keep up and catch up, we have to do whatever it takes. And in a lot of ways, this is a very noble stance, because we feel like we're taking care of our children, we're taking care of our family, we're taking care of our home. And so we take into our hands the only thing that we truly have control over, which is ourself. So what is it that we sacrifice? We sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice our nutrition, we sacrifice our energy, we sacrifice our happiness, we sacrifice our dreams. And we take all of this and we place it on this altar of motherhood. And it seems like a very noble thing. But the truth is, when as a mom and as a woman, we completely take who we are and we sacrifice it on behalf of our husband, our children, our home, we are actively robbing them of the best version of ourselves. And we are robbing ourselves of the happiest version of ourselves. And I actually just finished my workout. And so I wanted to share this with you guys because it is so easy to take our own needs and our own happiness out of the equation. It's almost as if we step outside of our family and we take this outside looking in approach of, okay, well, the kids are taken care of, my partner's happy, okay, the house is clean, or maybe it's not clean, but I'm getting by, and the kids are at school, and I got this, and I got this, and I got this, and it's almost like we view ourselves as this outside force keeping our family together, and it creates this, I don't know if you're familiar, but this like Atlas, right? Like Atlas in this old fable, and I'm probably botching this, so please forgive me in this regard. He was tasked with holding the world on his shoulders. And this is how we tend to view our family and our life once we kind of become this role of mother, is we almost feel like we have to be this outside source holding it all together. But the truth is, when we take this approach, we completely sacrifice our ability to be present in the family, because we are so present being outside of the family, holding it all together. And when we're in this place of sacrifice and holding it together, and we take all the things that we need, our needs, our nutrition, our sleep, and we say, all that can go because I just have to hold this together. What happens is we remove ourselves from the equation of happiness in our family. And what we don't realize is that our happiness is actually vital in the equation of our family's happiness. Our fulfillment is actually vital in the equation of our family's fulfillment. And so we have to realize that our dreams and our desires and our ambitions and our happiness is all vital to actually holding this family together. And so when we change our vantage point and we change our perspective from being this outside force holding it all together to saying, I'm going to bring myself inside of this family and I'm going to create a force around me that holds it together. It changes the way that we move. Because the truth is this, when you start to prioritize yourself, you have to actually set boundaries around what you do for your family, around how quickly you respond to your kids, around what you do and what you compromise, because you won't have the energy for yourself and for every whim that they might have. But here's the truth. You don't have to be there for every whim that your family has. I'll just use myself as an example. My daughter is turning 3 in 2 days, on Monday. Yeah, she's turning 3 in a couple days. I can't remember. And so she is completely self-centered. And here's the thing, a lot of people hear that and they think, why would you say that about your daughter? Like, we need to take this like good bad equation out of it. Like, she is only focused on herself because she is 3 and she is learning the world. And what we have to realize is that as parents, it's not just our job to take care of our kids. It's our job to instill the values in our children that we feel they need to see demonstrated to them. And so I have 2 beautiful little girls, and I have realized that it is my job to show them how to take care of themselves. And they're not going to get that by me always just taking care of them. Like, yes, in a physical sense, no, they can't cut up their own peaches. No, they can't make their own toast. No, they can't do all these things. And so, yes, I have to show up as a caregiver, but the truth is the only way they're going to learn that their happiness matters is by witnessing that their mom's happiness matters. The only way they're going to learn to set up boundaries in their life that says, you know what, I actually don't like this and I'm not going to allow this in my life. They're only going to know that if they witness their mom doing that. And this is so important because we feel like we're doing this noble thing by abandoning ourselves. But the truth is we are actually doing the opposite. We are putting our kids and our family in this place of saying, well, mom is always sacrificing her happiness, so I guess the only way to be loved is to sacrifice my happiness. And once that actually sunk in for me, it changed a lot because I realized that when my little girl was angry because I told her, no, we're not watching this right now, it's mom's turn to do XYZ, she got upset and she got angry. I had to realize that I had to fight in myself this initial desire to just cave and please and entertain, because I was teaching her a much bigger and greater lesson, which was your happiness matters and you have to stand up for your own happiness. Like, I'll be honest, guys, there are times when we go to eat dinner as a family, I pick the show that we're watching because I want to. When we're driving in the car, if I want to listen to something, I tell her, we take turns listening to songs because I want her to know that it's not just about her getting her way. It's not just about her being entertained. It's about sharing this space and sharing the equation of happiness. Because if I always take a back seat, I am showing her, I am showing my children that it's their responsibility to always take a back seat. And so what's going to happen when they get older and they get into relationships? They are going to always take the role of, I take the back seat, I sacrifice, I never draw boundaries, because they never witnessed it. And so I want to speak to all the moms this morning and just let this be a reminder that the things that matter to you are important to stand up for. And it might sound silly saying you have to set boundaries and stand up to your 2-year-old, but like it's true. You have to be able to look your kids in the eye and tell them, hey, I know you don't like this and I know you don't understand this, but mama has to set this boundary because it's what's good for her. Mama's happiness matters too. And I'm very open with the way I speak to my kids. And this is just because I want them to know they can voice how they're actually feeling. And they don't have to feel like they have to sugarcoat it for me or they have to sugarcoat it for anyone else. I'm very open. And I feel like this is what's helpful and it's been very healing and therapeutic because I grew up in a place where it wasn't always acceptable to just be open about what you were going through. And so I have learned, and I should rephrase that. I am constantly learning the importance of voicing and acting on your needs. And with that, I personally, like what I teach my students is decluttering their home and creating systems in their spaces. And I am a huge believer and a huge advocate that we have to set up our space to support our dreams. We have to set up our living room to support the workout that matters to us. We need to set up our kitchen to eliminate the frustration around dinner time. We have to set up our kids' spaces that support them and support us. And so when we talk about creating a home, it's not just about getting rid of things. It's not just about cleaning. It's not just about organizing. It is about creating spaces that actively support the life you desire. And that is such a drastic shift because for a lot of people, they view their home as, is it organized? Is it not organized? Is it clean? Is it not clean? And that's just not really what we're getting at. We truly want to enter into this space of saying, my dreams and my desires matter. And with that, I'm going to set up my home to support those desires and those dreams because I know when I show up as a supported, strong, happy, fulfilled mother, my children will by nature inherit those same things. So, wrapping this up, your happiness is a valid piece of the equation. Not even valid, your happiness is a vital piece of the equation. And we have to exit this space of outside holding everything together and step into this place of inside, almost this gravity force of saying, the more that I step into who I need to be, the more I'm going to naturally draw my family in and hold us together by my, essentially like my energy, my force, my fulfillment. I'm going to draw them in. So rather than holding it all together and stressing, we are going to draw them in and let them know that they matter and make them feel like they can be comfortable at home. Let them know there's boundaries and ultimately show them that they are loved and they are cared for and that they can care for themselves. And that's a really important piece. So I love you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know that you could be spending your time in a ton of other places, but I am so grateful for having you here. I love you. I'll see you in the next episode.